Nahalal. It was the first moshav established in the country in 1921. The people of the first Aliyah began the agricultural Zionist settlement in the land of Israel, by establishing mashvat. The first was in 1878 in Petah Tikva, in the style of the Pale of Settlement which was in Russia. The mashvat were a rural settlement. Each settler had private land cultivated by himself and with the help of workers. About 30 years later, with the advent of socialist and communist ideas, members of the Second Aliyah founded the group and the kibbutz. They started at the Kinneret farm and established Degania. The goal was sharing the land, the houses, the labor and the property, the decisions, the management and the finances. Everything belongs and is shared among all members equally. The people of the Third Aliyah, with the people of the Second Aliyah who did not find themselves as part of a group, created the moshav. Yitzhak Wilkansky Volcanic, a Zionist who was an agronomist, economist and philosopher, an expert in agricultural crops who founded the Volcanic Institute named after him. He was one of the thinkers of the moshav idea, where the land would not be private and would not be divided among the heirs, which after a few generations would be too small for agriculture, and will therefore belong to the national institutions. Each farmer will cultivate his land without sharing, in order to create motivation. And without workers, in order not to create social classes, which was later changed, due to the need for working hands. However, mutual help between the residents, and participation in the purchase and sale of tools and products in order to streamline and reduce costs. And that a mixed economy should be established, which should not be based on a single branch of agriculture, which could easily collapse. They started on a hill north of Migdal Haemek today, near an ancient mound from the Canaanite period called Nahalal, and an Arab settlement called Ma'alul, and from there they took their name. The land given to them by a Jewish national fund on which the settlement was planned was a swamp. They did not respond to the pleas of Dr. Hillel Yaffe, who warned them of malaria, that they would die like the Templar settlers who fled the place 50 years before them. They dried up the swamps and after a year settled. The architect and urban planner Richard Kaufman designed the moshav in the shape of a circle, symbolizing on the one hand, sharing of help and unity, and on the other hand privacy. In the hills opposite Tel Shimron, which was an important and fortified city during the Canaanite period more than 3,000 years ago. Then Joshua conquered it. It was inhabited during the Kingdom of Israel. In Greek times it was called Simonia. In the Great Revolt about 2,000 years ago, Jews fortified themselves against the Romans. And it is mentioned that it was a Jewish city at the time of the Talmud. In 1981, the community settlement of Timrat was established nearby.